All right, guys, let's check out this super limited edition Seiko chronograph. This is, of course, the SSC909er using the caliber V192 solar quartz chronograph. So big thanks to Nick and the crew over at Exquisite Timepieces. Link down below in the description. I was only kidding about the super limited edition. It is limited, and this happens to be number 4,716 of only 10,000 made. So yeah, we can joke about it, guys. Like, we think limited edition, even with a big brand like Seiko, and we think more like 5,000 max. So this is the first time I've seen like a limited edition of 10,000. So you're telling me they're going to make 10,000 of these watches? I guess so. I don't know. It's pretty wild. At least it's numbered. So this one's called the Crystal Trophy. Honors the challenges of athletes, whatever the heck that means. So sapphire crystal single dome. This is kind of pulling design cues from the 1969 speed timer from Seiko, which was the first automatic mechanical chronograph watch, and it has that kind of vibe, but with modern materials. 39.5 millimeter case on this thing. 45.6 millimeter lug to lug. Nice case profile there. 13.6 millimeter thick. You can see it's a single domed sapphire crystal with that distortion. That just means it's domed on the top, and on the bottom side, which we can't really see, is completely flat. Well, when you do that, it adds distortion like that. When we talk about double dome, that means it's domed on the top and it's domed on the bottom side to kind of match that same, almost same dome on the top, and that eliminates distortion pretty much. 20 millimeter lug width here. Bracelet tapers down to 18. Very cool feature on this bracelet. It has this blacked out, I think IP coated center link option here instead of being like polished or something like that. It's blacked out. It's not like black like the bezel insert, or the bezel is here. It's not an insert, it's actual bezel. But rather it's more of like almost like a black gunmetal type look to it. It looks like it's just a steel is actually that color. It's instead of being, it doesn't look as much coated as it does look like it. That's what color the steel is. I don't know if that makes sense, but pretty fun change of pace there that you don't typically see with this brand. 100-meter water resistance on this thing. It is a standard push-pull crown. And then on the sub dials here, you have a few different things going. We'll zoom in and we will go ahead and get this chronograph started. Before I do that, actually, it is in currently the sub dial at the 6 o'clock. You can see it has a E up to F, like a fuel gauge. Well, it is just that. This is the watch's fuel gauge. So its solar charge is near full. So that is your fuel gauge right there on that sub dial. And I'll show you how to access that here in a moment. So when you start the chronograph, obviously your chronograph hand's going to go. Your running seconds over there at 9 o'clock is just going to continue to run as normal because that's keeping your three-handed time counting. And then the chronograph feature is going to be tracked on the chronograph hand and then the 60-minute chronograph here. And then over here on this 3 o'clock sub dial, that's going to just be a 12-hour clock. Or excuse me, a 24-hour clock, so you know if you're in the AM or PM. The date here in between the 4 and 5, I never really thought about this too much, but I was watching another YouTube video and they were explaining why some of these dates are hard to see. I don't know why. It's common sense, really, but I had to hear it from another YouTuber to be able to fully understand why this date is so difficult to see. It's because of the depth. It is so far down into, past the dial, especially like it's a 12. When you get into the double digits, it's near impossible to see. And there's really, because of the type of watch that it is, there's really no way for them to bring that closer to the dial. Because you have the dial, then you have you can see the sub dials are the next layer down, and those have the solar cells in them, and then you have, the movement and everything. So like that's where the date is. Personally, I'd almost rather it just be a no date, or figure out a way to do a date in a sub dial, but then you're talking a whole different movement. I don't know. Just food for thought. To me, the date is near worthless on this particular watch. Okay, so you can see it's keeping minutes there at the 6 o'clock. So if we go ahead and stop this and we reset it, it just does a slow sweep back. Now to access your power reserve, all you have to do is just single tap this lower pusher here, and it'll sweep around and it'll tell you what your power reserve is. It's that simple. And then setting the watch, equally simple. You just pop the crown out. You can adjust the minute hand, and it sweeps the hour hand, so you can select the desired time. And then your AM and PM is indicated right there in that 3 o'clock subdial. So pretty simple to use. There you go. Here's a look at the case back. It is labeled limited edition, and it is numbered, a proper way to do a limited edition. I would argue that 10,000 is not a limited edition, even with a large brand like Seiko, but it's still a cool watch. It's still a cool colorway. Here it is next to a 5KX, or whatever these are called, SSX or something, the GMT. It's basically a 5KX. So what I was wearing today, just so you have a size comparison, because the 39 millimeter is going to be a little bit smaller, but because you have fixed center links coming off the bracelet, even though they're angled near down, it does extend the lug to lug a little bit, which is going to help it wear better on a lot of wrist size, including my 7 1/4. So it still works on my wrist, no problem, and looks quite nice. It has like a icy blue colored dial. In case you're wondering, I think that's coming through clearly on the images. So only 2 micro adjust on this bracelet though too. Boom, boom, that's it. That's all you get. And not really any half links. So hopefully it works for you. Let's blast it with the UV light. Kill the studio lights and check out that Seiko Lume. Not a ton of lume on this dial, hour, minute, oddly on the chronograph, and then the 12, 3, 6, and 9. There you go. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next video.